What's up, guys? Mark back here with another video. So today I'm going to kind of give you guys a few of the updates on what the goings-ons have been. For those of you that have watched the past couple of videos or so, you all know that we finally kind of launched our own little photos community. Some people were really stoked about it and wanted in and wanted to be a part of it absolutely immediately. There were a few others that seemed like they were a little bit confused, or they weren't really happy with, how the format was set up and all that kind of stuff. So, all right, the first thing that I will talk about then is the fact that the Instagram pod is actually going extremely well. We've got probably 20 people or so that are sharing the photographs. We're all talking gear and discussing all these other different types of topics. The conversation is like, it's just pretty much ongoing. Everyone is sharing some really amazing images that otherwise may have not have even been seen by our peers. And I think that is probably one of the better ways to get instant feedback from other people, especially that do the same things that you do, to get that instant feedback and everything, is to join a community so that you can actually talk about those things. There is a lot of other things that have been kind of going on in there as well. A lot of people have been discussing what types of lenses they think that they ought to be using, what types of lenses they think would best suit what they like to shoot with. And so a lot of that immediate feedback, because, sometimes you don't have the money to always buy the lens that you want right then and there. Sometimes you're saving up your pennies. Other times you're just not in the position to, buy new gear. Gear acquisition syndrome it kind of afflicts us all from time to time. And getting to know and talk to somebody else that already has that gear is a really good way to see generally how it's going to fit. Not all the time can something be conveyed in like a review video. And I think that is exactly what actually needs to happen, because a review video is a very broad stroke on the whole issue of what a piece of gear can or cannot do. But when you actually talk to other people and you ask relevant questions and you really kind of dive down into the specifics of the piece that you're looking to get, you can get a much more accurate picture of whether or not it's actually going to meet your specific needs or not. So we're having those kind of conversations in the Instagram pod. So far, I'm really enjoying it. I don't know about anybody else. I hope that they are. I hope that they're enjoying it. And it's all, working out for them on some level. We're all kind of sharing the photos back and forth. We're making sure that we comment on each other's photographs, making sure that we give feedback privately in the pod. And we're also making sure that we like them and showing some love so that they can gain a little bit more traction in the Instagram feed. But as amazing and as cool and as socially driven as Instagram is, it does have a few drawbacks. The first drawback for some people is that it is not high resolution. And I get that. I get that it's not going to be, super duper, you want everyone to see, but it is a very social platform. Sometimes the socialness of the platform, honestly, it probably helps us out more than just putting it on a really nice website. So I do think that there has to be a balance between the two. You do have to have a place where you can really present your work and show it to potential clients, whoever may want to maybe reserve your services or maybe even purchase your work. All those things have to be taken into consideration. So while Instagram is a fantastic place to build community and get noticed and maybe have your work looked into deeper, you're still going to need some other place that you can put your work that reaches a more professional clientele. Okay. Some of you don't care about that, and that's perfectly fine. But then again, I had a lot of people that were basically voicing their concerns, saying that was very important to them. And I have to be honest, I can see why it would be, very important to some people. Some people make a living from photography. Other people, it's a hobby. They just want to, take some shots and then share it with their friends and, get some compliments and stuff from the family members and all that. But other people actually want to make a living. So, from my point of view, I've been doing professional photography for around, I don't know, 7 or 8 years, but I've been doing photography a whole lot longer than that. But professionally, most of my clients, and I may be an anomaly, most of my clients, I mostly got those through word of mouth. But not just word of mouth, I did a lot of event photography. So I would be at a certain event and I'd be photographing, couples or, groups or whatever. And then other people would come over and be like, hey, I'd like to maybe use you in a future thing or whatever. Where can we go to see some more of your work? So I had to maintain a really nice website. And before, I was on SmugMug, and then I went over to Squarespace for a little while, and then I went to YouTube full time and just kind of said, okay, I'm just going to do 500 pixels. And 500 pixels is also a community-driven website that, honestly, it has a lot of great benefits. First of all, high res. All right. Second of all, you can, in fact, upload photographs directly from your computer. So it doesn't have to necessarily be transferred over to your phone and up onto the website, a lot like Instagram was. I had maybe 2 or 3 people say, if this community or whatever, if it will not allow me to upload my photographs directly from my computer onto the website, that's just kind of a no-go for me. And again, I could understand why. But 500 pixels is not just a good community, it's also a marketplace. It's a place where if you want to sell your work, you can take your work and then you can post it there. And then if you have the rights to everything in the photograph, say like if it's on your own property and it's like your girlfriend or whatever, right? Then you don't have to have like a model release or a property release. Something to that effect. So if that is the case, then you can submit it to the marketplace on 500 pixels. You can make money. People can download your work. People can subscribe to you, and follow you. And if you post any new work, especially like stock photography, fashion photography, any sort of cover photography, stuff like that, whatever it ends up, a lot of people that are in like the brochure business, right? They purchase photographs from photographers who live around really interesting landmarks like the Grand Canyon and those type of places. So 500 pixels is a kind of a 4-in-1. And the last thing that Pixels has, because you've got a really good website that you can upload in high res, you've got the community, you've got the marketplace, and the fourth and final thing, well, it's not the final thing, but if you decide that you want to take your experience on 500 pixels even further, you can upgrade it to an awesome account and then redirect a domain name directly to it. You can have a custom profile. You can have custom galleries that you only want to show potential clients that are coming to your stuff and wanting to look at it. So it can be a community website, just the free, side of things. But if you want to start taking it that next step further, you've got plenty of options. You've got high res, you've got community, you can sell it in the marketplace, and you can either give 500 pixels an exclusive rights license to it, or you can redirect your own website and make sure that you sell your own work however you choose. Okay, so having said all that, I hope that some of you kind of get the idea. 500 pixels is a lot like SmugMug, but in my opinion, it seems to have a lot of new, more innovative features in SmugMug. I don't want to bash SmugMug because I haven't been on there in a very, very long time, and it was a fantastic website. It was a fantastic place for you to store your stuff, present your stuff to potential clients. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that I've been out of the SmugMug ecosystem for such a long time. I can't accurately comment on it specifically. So anyway, next up, I got reviewed. So a few months back, or no, not a few months back, but about 2 months ago, I told you guys that I was going to have my work, posted in a, hanging in a gallery, and that it was going to be seen by, untold thousands of people or whatever. I don't know how many exactly showed up because I've not been there every day. But reviews are finally starting to come in, and overwhelmingly, they are like really good. And I know that I sound kind of odd because I'm like impressed by that or whatever, but the reviews that have come back so far that I've seen, I keep searching on an occasional basis. I try not to overhype myself, but I managed to find two from two publications here locally that I knew would have them. So I'm not going to like read the whole thing, but I at least like want to share just like a little bit with you guys. So the first one is from, and I'll put the links to these reviews down in the description after the video is over. But here is one quote, and this is from artslouisville.com. It says, Mark Puckett's photographs range from highly stylized compositions. It's weird reading someone else talk about your stuff. Highly stylized compositions that could serve as advertising for 1933 Berlin or Paris, to less polished images of a model whose body is painted in unflattering fashion, to a series that features nude human figures posing in tableau while holding cutouts that echo Picasso's Guernica. The allusion to the destruction of war is indirect but clear enough. I don't know. And he is right. He did get some of that stuff right, and he was 100% spot on. Some of the photographs were meant to mimic scenes from out of Berlin in the 1930s. I think it was World War I or World War II. I can't remember. And then, yes, we also did a photo shoot that involved basically cutouts with nude models that did basically acted out the scene of Picasso's Guernica. So that was just one little quote of the total article. I just think it's really interesting. So for those of you that are looking forward to maybe one day having your work hanging up in a gallery and having a bunch of people see it, and then potentially have some reviewers come and look at your stuff, it's a little bit nerve-wracking, a little bit exhilarating, and then when you actually like read a review, it's odd to see and to kind of hear what those reviewers were actually feeling when they looked at your stuff. And it's a very ethereal spot. So anyway, but thus far, it seems like it's pretty good. So anyway, that was all I had for you, except, and I know that a few of you guys were looking forward to this, maybe not all of you, but I did get in touch with the my B&H rep over the right before the weekend, actually. And I have on the way, and I do believe it should be here either today or tomorrow, Fujifilm X-T3 with the battery grip. So I'll be able to test out all of the things with the Fujifilm. Now, personally, I am like ridiculously stoked about getting this camera. I don't really know what to expect. This will honestly be like my first toe dipping into Fujifilm since they went digital. I messed around with a few Fujis, 20 years ago or so. But this will be the first time that I'll actually be able to get to use one since they went digital. And I gotta be perfectly honest, having all those knobs, wheels, and buttons on top, I'm super duper excited about using it. And I think that at least on the photographic side, I think it's going to blow my panties off. On the video side, I'm not so sure. And since I do both, I really need the performance to be pretty damn strong on both ends, or it's kind of not an option for me. Unless I'm just buying one specific, tool for a specific job. So that's all I got for you guys today. If you guys are interested or have questions or comments, don't forget to leave those down below. I would love to hear from you guys. I'd like to get some feedback. And if you were interested in joining our Instagram pod and sharing with one another, be sure to send me a direct message. My name on Instagram is thephotovideoshow. and just say that you want to be in the pod. I'll add you to it, and we'll get the conversation rolling even more. So, anyway, guys, thanks again for stopping here at the Photo Video Show. Thanks for hanging out with me. I will see you guys again on the next one. Peace.